A lot of time people criticize without having all the correct information. And in today's video, is xenophobia in South Africa really this serious? We're going to deep dive into this topic. I have a friend that is in Africa, not South Africa, and she wrote me of South African or very xenophobic, like very, very. And my reply towards this was only for the foreigners who come. And I have more that I wrote, but we're going to come back to this towards the end of the video so you can hear my take on this. But she's in West Africa. I'm not going to tell you the particular country, but I did have plan on visiting her country. But the thing with her is that she has never left her country. So all her information is based on, I guess, or I assume what other people say or what she have seen. So she has never visited the country as I have. So I'm gonna give you a little sample of what I think, but towards the end of the video, I'm gonna give you everything, especially coming back to this message that she has sent me. But my take is, I have not seen xenophobia from visiting Cape Town many times, and now in Durban, I haven't seen it. And if you ask most black people in North America, being Canada and the US, if you was to ask them about xenophobia in South Africa, number one, they probably wouldn't even know what the word mean. So that lets you know that they don't even know what's going on. And number two, they probably have never visited South Africa because they can't really afford it. It's very expensive. It's not a cheap trip. And the duration is very long. But my friends within the continent of Africa, if you ask them about the word, most likely they're going to lean towards or point towards South Africa. I don't know why, but we're going to get into this video of mine that I put together. And I really don't think it's the correct word, xenophobia. I would say that it leans more towards this word right here, nationalism. Now, these clips I'm going to show you is the same thing that happens in all countries, which is nationalism. But the only problem I have is, why the same thing that happens in South Africa, which happens worldwide, why it's only xenophobia in South Africa, but it's not xenophobia in Poland, Spain, or other countries that display the same exact things. So let's get into this. So do you think xenophobia is that serious in South Africa, or is it worse in other countries? I had a person that wrote on one of my videos, well, a few of my videos, never go to SA, period, racist. And another one, he said, just never go to SA. Where do you think he's probably from? South Africa? Maybe somewhere in Europe, Australia, the US? Speaking of the US, a new Texas law that took effect September 1st bans foreign buyers from purchasing land or other property in the state. Now, this is just one individual state, so that means that the state next over or different states have a different stance or opinion about this law. All it means is that most of the land that's being purchased in the US is mainly from Chinese. So to stop that, Texas thought of a good idea of just ban all foreign buyers. Is this xenophobia or is this nationalism? After the Rona scare, the Where's Your Mask season, this article how a growing number of Muslims are making Japan their home. And this article dates 2021. And for some reason, it was fine back then as the numbers increased. But as of now, 2025, Japan's stance on the situation is totally different. Now, would this be considered xenophobia? Or Again, would it be considered nationalism? I don't know if you all have seen the common thread of this video so far, but nationalism, which I do see in South Africa and in all other countries that I've visited, nationalism is growing rapidly, especially in 2025, as you can see. And you have some countries like Spain, they're saying, well, forget the immigrants. That's a problem. But also as a problem is all this tourism to our country. So this is what the city of Barcelona in Spain feels like. It's too much tourism coming to their city. So my question is, where's the articles about xenophobia in Spain? I'm trying to like research and pull those up. I don't see that. All I see is a lot of articles talking about nationalism, and Spain is talking about the quality of life for the citizens, the residents, Spaniards in Barcelona. They feel like they just been it's over tourism in their city, and the quality of life for the residents is going down because now you have all this pollution from people renting cars coming to their city. Also, you have all this this extra trash that they talk about when when tourists come to their country and they litter. So it's lots of things that they're saying. Is it considered racist? Is it considered xenophobia? So my question has always been, why is it just xenophobia in South Africa? Other countries do the same thing, and as you see, I think it's even worse. But they tied up and present it to you as it's nationalism. Here's another one from Spain. Stop turismo masivo. I guess that means stop massive tourism. So Spain is on a roll. You know, they're going for that. They feel that they're being overwhelmed by foreigners, by tourists. Not just the immigrants. That's a whole different topic. But also added, it's too much tourism coming to our country, to our city of Barcelona, and its other cities in Spain. They feel the same way. Oh, here's another one. This is basically saying respect my country, respect my city. It says pay taxes, learn Spanish, respect my culture. And this is something that all countries want. So, again, the question is, do you think xenophobia in South Africa is that bad? I'm seeing other countries, especially in 2025, take it to the next level. Here we have Spain. You just saw protests in Poland, in London. They're all saying the same thing. Nationalism. Basically meaning a variety of different things. These immigrants, these foreigners are coming to our country. They're overstaying. They're not paying taxes. They're littering. They don't care about our country because it's not their country. They're taking our low-skilled labor jobs that our citizens could be working in these low-skilled jobs, but you choose to take the foreigners or the immigrants because you could pay them under the table, and in return with that, they don't pay taxes. So for 2025, different countries had different stances on not just immigrants or foreigners, but also, as you can see with Spain, it's tourism. And you have more countries are agreeing with Spain when it comes to the tourism. So is that racist? Is that xenophobia? Is it nationalism? We have Denmark. They're saying if you're a Muslim and now you're a citizen of our country of Denmark, if you're going to school, you must take the burqa off because that's not part of our culture. Is this racist? Is it nationalism? What is this? Here we have in the UK, we have this massive protest, remigration, basically meaning that if you're non-white and you're an immigrant and you're not a descendant of our country, go back to the country you come from. Get out of here. We already have enough of you. This is what is happening in 2025. But this is not racist though, right? This is not xenophobia. Xenophobia only applies to South Africa, as it seems. But please put down in the comment section, what do you think about all what's happening? And what do you think about xenophobia in South Africa? We have in Portugal that they're changing the nationality law, increasing the minimum requirements. So they basically saying, in a nutshell, we have enough foreigners living in our country. We don't want them over here. So what can we do? We can increase the minimum requirements. And you have also I read some articles in Portugal saying that it's very unconstitutional for them to increase that. So what they're doing now is they're delaying it, but guaranteed it's going to happen. I visited Portugal twice, to the city of Lisbon, or as they say in Portuguese, Lisboa. And the immigrants that I saw there were mainly from three places: Mozambique, Cape Verde, and Brazil. So a lot of brown people in Portugal. And I was trying to make myself like Portugal. That's why I revisited for the second time. But there's only just two countries in Europe that I really like, which is Germany, and I like visiting London because it kind of reminds me of the U.S. a little. But this law will take in effect. I don't know how soon. Is it going to be towards the end of 2025 or the beginning of 2026? But they're going to make sure that this law passes because of the word nationalism. Now we go back to Japan. I remember the article that I had that was back in 2021 about the increase of Muslims to the country of Japan. Now in 2025, for some reason, Japan has woken up and now they're saying that they have too many. And the reason is because of their culture, meaning Japanese culture. They're not a Muslim country, but now they have an increase of people coming from certain Muslim countries. And basically they're saying, again, in a nutshell, is that their culture is not our culture. We have too many of these people. So what can we do legally to stop this or even get them out? Japan implements strict border control measures targeting foreign tourists who skip out on hospital payments. So basically, foreign tourists that come to Japan, they get some type of medical procedure done. And instead of paying the medical bill, the procedure that was done, or paying the bill in full, they just skip out, go back to their country, and never pay the bill. And it's become such a problem that there's lots of articles about this. So what I think they will probably do now is kind of implement something that you have to have travel health insurance when you come to the country, or if you do decide to visit any type of medical facility, you have to pay in full up front, or just have some type of your own health insurance that you can get from your own country. We're still in Japan, and what they're talking about, or what their government is talking about, is the rise of Japan first, which is nationalism. Anything else they're not really concerned about right now. Their concern is their slogan, which is Japanese first. And they're claiming that immigration is causing the loss of culture in their country. Now the next clip, I heard about this being in Korea, but not in Japan.
Chỗ mà chỗ kia bây giờ mình quay lại thì không phải đẹp lâu lắm đâu.
Yeah, I heard about this being in Korea, of different types of pubs or clubs that's only for Korean citizens. No outsiders, no foreigners allowed to go in there. But I did not know about that also being implemented in some places in Japan. So that's kind of new to me. But the question is, if you're not Japanese or Korean, and if it's written in Korean or Japanese of saying that it's only for Japanese citizens, as a foreigner, how would you know what it says? You would just probably just walk in because you can't read it. So I wonder, is it also in other languages? But again, is this racist? Is this prejudice? Is this xenophobia? Or is it okay in other countries? It's called something else. But when it comes back to South Africa, it's xenophobia. Also, my question would be, it would be funny to see that, okay, you cannot go to certain pubs, restaurants, or clubs in Japan or Korea, but inside the clubs you hear non-cultural, non-Japanese or Korean music. You're hearing hip-hop and shit like that. That would be so fucking funny. They don't want foreigners to come, but they want to listen to foreign music or partake in foreigners' cultural identities. That would be weird as hell. But the next video, let's go to. Speaking of Korea, I see a Korean flag. So these are Koreans protesting against China. No Chinese, no China from their country. Is this prejudice? Is this xenophobia? Again, you know, other countries do the same thing, if not even, I think, worse. But in news articles and headlines, you don't see that word xenophobia. And I always wonder, why does it always just apply to South Africa? Do anyone know? Please let me know. Put it down in the comment section. Why does it just specifically apply to South Africa and not other countries? I don't know, but maybe you know. Let me know.
White nations! White nations! Now we start the deportation! Now we start the deportation! White nations! White nations! Closed borders! Closed borders! Now we start the deportation! Now we start the deportation! You're right, gentlemen.
The good old USA. Nationalists, conservatives from the US and Europe gathered together to discuss democracy. If I could be mistaken by this, but if I'm not mistaken, I think for 2025, the country that probably first started off with all this nationalism talk, I think it was the US, if I'm not mistaken. Being that, you know, we don't care about other countries. We just care about ours. We don't care about NATO. Matter of fact, why are we spending all this money towards NATO and we're not in Europe? We're in the US. That's what someone has said. I'm probably sure you know who that is. And it seems like now all other countries is like a domino effect, or kind of like, I don't know if they're agreeing, but they're kind of like doing the same thing. We saw videos from Spain. We saw all the protests and marches in the UK, in London, and it just gets even deeper. But I think it's way worse in other countries than what they say about South Africa and the word xenophobia. I've seen videos of people videotaping immigrants doing things like, you know, pickpocketing, stealing, taking phones, and they're catching them and beating them up, putting it on video, press the upload button, and for people like myself and others to see. So nationalism is, I think, it's growing strong in 2025, and I don't really see a decline in this. But the whole purpose of this video is xenophobia in South Africa. Is it really that bad opposed to other countries? Again, it's a lot of nationalism going on, even within the citizens of the people. They're posting things and they're talking about the same thing as in nationalism. Is it prejudice? Is it racist? Is it xenophobia? As you see from the video we just saw from Canada, somebody posted that. I'm just looking at the comments of what people they're talking about. So is it a thin line between being racist? Is it nationalism? Is it xenophobia? Again, what is it? Let me know down in the comment section below. You have some people, I read the comments, they're saying that these people, they're used to doing things back home in their own country of bathing in the water. So they're not used to this. So it's a lot of things that you can see that's going on in all countries.
Fuck off. They did $8,000 a month. I like to prove it. No, you're a fucking immigrant. I'm scared. Yeah, you're an immigrant that leeches off white slavery.
This idiot just ignore him.
White
This
slavery,
fucking racist.
baby.
Fuck off, racist.
White slavery.
Get the fuck out of here.
White, why don't you get the fuck out of here?
Shut up. It's not your fucking country, you dummy.
No, I'm a
it's
Canadian.
Inuit.
I was born here.
You know that.
So this video you just saw, is that nationalism? Is it xenophobia? Is it racist? What would you call that? let me know. Why is xenophobia only for South Africa? No other countries on the continent and no other countries in the world? That's a good question.
This country was built by our ancestors. It was bled for by our ancestors on the beaches of Gallipoli, in the bushes of Kokoda. They bled for a white Australia.
We were sold it and it never worked. These ethnics have formed enclaves and now we can't even go there in our own lands. We know that the government is the problem. They have betrayed you.
Aussie nation!
Aussie nation!
Stop the invasion!
Stop the invasion!
Aussie nation!
Aussie nation!
Stop the invasion!
Stop the invasion!
Lebanese heritage yourself?
Oh, mate, don't say that, because that irritates me, and I punch blokes in the mouth for saying that. Don't you dare say that. My family have been in this country for 140 years, right? So if you say anything like that, I have, on many occasions, punched blokes in the mouth, right? So I'm restraining myself today. Don't say it. I'm not listening to you. You're out.
Sorry, Paul. I'm really confused here. What was wrong with that statement?
I'm not dealing with the subject. I'm an Australian. My family have been here since the dawn of time. That's the end of it. 92% of the people coming to Australia go to Sydney and Melbourne. That's over the last 12 years. And do you see them mixing with other Australians, dressing like other Australians, being friendly with other Australians, being in the local Lions Club? Do you see that? So you don't want to become Australians, well, we don't want you to become Australians, and we want you to get the hell out of this country. No, don't say that, because no, listen, just look. Don't say that.
I'm sure.
Don't say that, because you're a racist. You're a racist. You cannot say what you've just said without being identified as a racist. So, gentlemen, ladies, this man is a racist. Don't listen to him, please.
Remember what I taught you? Because today is the only chance that you got ever coming out in this bush and learning how to survive. When you start school again, when tomorrow, you're going to do white man education. You're not going to learn about Aboriginal culture. And Aboriginal culture, it should be taught in all schools to Aboriginal kids, because our Aboriginal kids are getting too much white education in their brains that they are completely forgetting about their own tribe, their culture, and their tradition, and their heritage. And that is most important, that you kids just remember what you are, that you stand tall and you stand proud on your own land, what you're standing now. And that's black land, Aboriginal land.
The first two clips was kind of threw me off. The person that was speaking at the time, he had said that our country, without including the Aboriginal people. I saw online there's a book, it's called Aboriginal Culture Essentials, and they talk about that apartheid in South Africa is something similar that had happened in Australia way before the word existed in South Africa. A pretty interesting topic, pretty interesting book. You know, you can Google this book or go online, download the PDF. But a lot of things in the book is very interesting, as in the similarities and also with the history. But for the first two clips that you saw of the person not including the original people of the land, was kind of weird to see a lot of people, you know, agree with him. And I don't know, it just threw me off. But the purpose of those two clips and the last clip of having the Aboriginal woman explain to the kids that their culture is being diminished by now this new white culture, and always to remember your culture and never forget it. All that was interesting with me, but it all ties into culture, and also it ties into the topic of this video, which is xenophobia. I always wondered if the Aboriginal people are the ones that are left, because it was a massacre of them. Do they feel that it's xenophobia in today's society, since they are now the minority? So they once lived in a country that was theirs and they were the majority, and now they're the minority, and the majority of the population in Australia is white. So now we go back to the beginning of my video, in which my friend from West Africa, who have never visited any other African country outside of hers on the continent, of the message that she had said that South Africa is very, very xenophobic. And my reply was, only for the foreigners who come to a country and do illegal activities. As we saw throughout this whole video, we saw different countries complain about different things, as in all countries do. All countries will complain about tourists who come to a certain country and they litter and it causes a problem. They're going to complain about people who come to a country and they do all the legal things correctly, but it drives up the price of services and goods in that particular country. You can have people complain, as we saw in Spain, about it's just too much tourism. You know, need to cut it down a little bit. We're having too much of this. We saw in Japan, their concern and complaint was about other cultures bringing their culture to a culture that already exists in their culture, being Japan. So they're trying to find ways how to legally cut that down and also get those people out, because they're saying that it's causing a problem within their culture. So other countries can say all these different things, but when it comes to South Africa, it's a problem. It's xenophobia. But everywhere else in the world, it's not a problem. It's nationalism. It's okay. It's a different word. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Down below, put your comments, your responses, what you think of the whole video, or what you think about certain countries that you had saw, or countries that I didn't even get a chance to post what's going on, because I'm pretty sure it's lots of different countries that's doing the same thing or displaying nationalism.
Mixing with other Australians, dressing like other Australians, being friendly with other Australians, being in the local Lions Club. Do you see that? So you don't want to become Australians, well, we don't want you to become Australians, and we want you to get the hell out of this country. No, don't say that, because no, listen, just look. Don't say that.
I'm sure
don't say that, because you're a racist. You're a racist. You cannot say what you just said without being identified as a racist. Some gentlemen, ladies, this man is a racist. Don't listen to him, please.